Hi there, everyone. Wednesday, October 5th, the stock market happened. I didn't pay much attention to it today until just now, but we're going to talk about the stocks we follow, go through this Google sheet. What this Google sheet does is it keeps track of all the stocks that I'm keeping track of and notes and last time I reviewed them and target prices for those companies in many instances. Right now, I spent some time yesterday, but not much today. I got this down to 880 companies that are in here. This will get down to under a couple hundred. Trying to do it by the end of this week, might be into next week because it is taking a little longer, but this is still very useful. So we're going to talk about things today. So the one thing that I did this week, I decided to gamble this week. This is not investing. This is complete gambling, but it's still pretty interesting to watch. So I'll talk about what I did. I own a few different long call options in Tesla that expire Friday, which is 48 hours, less away. And they're higher than this 240. So today Tesla had a down day by 3.5%. Terrible for my options, right? My options dropped. I think they dropped 75% in value just today because Tesla was down at like 230 something. I think at some point today, way, way, way down. Um, what's interesting about that and how to deal with this kind of thing is if you work under this philosophy of companies that you really believe in and that you believe will accrete and go up and profit for any reasons and decisions that you make. Tesla is the number one that I say it is the company that I think will do that the most. So that's why I like to buy long call options on them. Well, if you have that philosophy for certain companies, there's also companies you don't like and companies that you think are overvalued, and you can buy puts on those companies, which is kind of an estimation from your end that they will be going down. Like, and if they do, then your option will go up in money because you'll have the right to sell their share price at a higher price than they might be at. That's how a put works, is it makes you money by seeing the company go below a certain strike price of put. Well, a lot of these companies that you're going to see on here with target prices at the top are all going to be companies that I say to buy. And those companies today, it looks like Visa had a good day. Canadian Solar had a bad day, but they're a low market cap and they move around a lot. Then there's Alphabet, almost nothing movement. Moderna, almost nothing movement. Tesla down even lower, just makes it more attractive to buy more options, long call options on them, because they're really reaching a bottom of something, and they're not a bottom company, they're a top company, so they're going to go up. That what else is there? There's Domino's has a good day, not surprised. You can keep buying Domino options all the way up to 350, and they'll probably continue to go throughout the year. Like, this company will probably be on a run until basically the Super Bowl. Like, when people are ordering stuff in, until the weather starts getting better and people want to get out of their house more, this company benefits. And you can see that they dropped as a consequence of a lot of companies that just dropped. And so that's where I'm going to get into more of this video is sometimes the market, people get apprehensive and the market in aggregate just goes down. Just people just pull money out. Everybody pulls money out. And so everything basically gets affected with only very few outliers there where only a few companies will go up on a day where oftentimes the market will go down. And what we can do, as I was just wanted to look at, I wanted to look at somebody's most recent, was it Google? Who do I want to look at? Um, Domino's. Yeah, I wanted to look at Domino's just to see over the last 150 days, are they really, going to go back? I think they are. Yeah, I mean they were up here essentially 90 65 2 months ago, right? 2.5 months ago. That up there is like 370 or something like that, probably. And they're so well run and they're everywhere. It's just I mean I like them too. Like, it's good to talk about making long call options and purchases on companies where you're wagering essentially that they're going to go up in value and significantly, to do those with companies that you really believe in. I mean, I can't think of any better advice than Find a company you love for a lot of different reasons. And if they're run properly and they're profitable, they should go up if you're right. Right. So a lot of these companies fit that description. Some of them don't. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of Visa. They work and they're profitable. I am a fan of Moderna. I am obviously a fan of Tesla. So these are the main big companies that I have as the best deals right now. Looks like they had a bad, lackluster, bad, good, okay, lackluster, a little bit down, a little bit up, a little bit up, or a little bit up, and about flat. So there was a lot of like flat. I actually heard that when I was driving home. I was out at a preseason hockey game with Capitals today, and I was driving home from that. I was listening to the news, and they were talking about how it was a lackluster, anemic day. They actually said on Wall Street, anemic. It's like wow. So it's kind of like where everything went up and down and ended up even for the most part. Well, that's actually really boring. It's interesting. Either wants to go really far down or really up. So let's talk about, well, did any companies move big? Let's talk with the ones that would be the biggest movers from the top and see if we have any of those on our list or if we need to review those. Illumina, I said growth is great. There's an unusual expense that I haven't read into the financial statements to find out what that was, that caused me some concern. But in general, whatever, they have a really good day. So there's probably some news on them that we could look up. I don't know what the Eastern company is, but market cap can't be that huge. The cool thing about when we just sorted like this is you can go back to the top sheet. And now all of a sudden you get to see all those companies that we just resorted. And we get to see, one, do I have any target prices on any of them? And also what's their market cap? Like what was their percent traded, right? Like there's some big trading here going on with Hibbett Sports and Avis. Avis, what I talked about. Avis, another banner day. They had a more banner day this week. I mean, what have they done over the last like 10 days? Avis and budget and rental, boom. I mean, just like, pew, right? That is a chart that's shooting up. And it's because people realize they are stable, they are everywhere. There was a lot of money that came out of that market as people were concerned about travel. And don't forget that people are always concerned about like rolling COVID and whether or not we're going to go back into masks and no travel and no business meetings and yada, yada, yada. I think a lot of that's done unless we have a different virus that's even more lethal that we see as like, we can't really go out anymore. That's always a possibility of something that might happen, but not looking forward to that. And let's hope that that doesn't happen. So people are seeing Avis come back, and that's why, as I said, now there's not as much value to what I said before. They'll probably take a breather at about 175, but you can see how low they are comparatively. Like they were up in the 200s and change, and that was okay. And so there's a potential to believe that they'll get there again, right? So point is we got some ones here, market cap wise, it's really only a limit. I'm surprised that Davis's market cap 8 billion. Kind of interesting. I don't know what RPM International is. Columbia Sportswear. I mean, like I said, I didn't spend a ton of time working on stocks today, so I don't really know. But I also wanted to show you something else, which is, so on a day or sometimes days that will be bad where everyone takes money out of the market and things go down. The other side of what I was saying about rooting for companies that you really love and that you want to see succeed and that you believe in is there are companies that you might dislike, and there are companies that you might think are run poorly, and there's companies that you might like watching crash and burn. And if they're bad companies, I don't see anything bad with doing that. So I do have a list of companies that I've targeted for that. It's going to be right here. It's going to be, I shouldn't put, Novavax shouldn't have a 1 on there. I don't dislike them. I don't want to bring that up, but things like Roblox and DraftKings, and unfortunately Schrodinger, one that I really used to like a lot, but now I know just doesn't, I just don't think they have the experience. They're doing something I want to do, and believe in, which is using computing technology to assemble molecular bio things, like to understand the molecule composition of everything in our cellular chemistry. They're trying to produce their own thing using from my understanding, using just a lot of their simulation programming. And I think there's a real world testing phase that maybe they're just not experienced in yet, but they're just feel like a lot of hype, and they don't feel like they're gonna do what they're gonna do because they haven't ever proven it. And it's kind of all theory. And I know that I know that environment of testing something on a computer and then seeing whether or not it works in real life, and there's a difference. So I do short them. Um, the rest of these don't have ones next to them. So these are the only three, I guess. Now, Facebook is going to be another one. You're going to make me call them Meta. Where are they? Good. I like that Meta doesn't show up. Where is it? There it is. That's a one also. Now, while that's not a quarterly target price per se, it means I think they're going to nothing. And it's because of the way they're run and the reputation they have. I think that once people understand what they do with your information and also what they're willing to put in front of your face, like I would may say that what Facebook does with information is akin to, imagine if you went out to a restaurant and the restaurant, like you sit down and you're like, I would like to have the salmon. Can I have the Atlantic salmon? Well done, please, with some vegetables and some rice. And they're like, sure. And then they come back with a plate full of feces. And you have to tell them, no, I didn't order feces. I want salmon. They're like, no, we just got paid like $50,000 to put this feces in your face. And here's your feces. And at a certain point, you'd be like, I'm not going back to that restaurant because there's a chance that I'm going to get served shit. Well, this company serves up shit and takes all the money in the world to do it in your face. And now that the generation that grew up with this, I think is realizing that it's not good, even though everyone still keeps their account and keeps their messenger account. I don't. I haven't done that since 2017. I'm happy with that, even though I know that I'm not in that world. I'm not in the metaverse, because that metaverse is not a place that's a happy place. And it's a place where I feel like I don't have control. And so this company is going to continue to do that because Zuckerberg is, I mean, Zuckerberg. He knows only how to win in his own weird way. And him going through everybody's data is his way of winning. And until we stop using his service, he's going to have that power over all of us. And yeah, I short these guys. And there was a week a few months ago, if you look at their chart, let's bring them. Yeah, if we do this, we're going to show you the companies that I shorted here. Right. So your Facebook right here, there was this period of time. Let's see where it was. Is it a little more than 180 days ago? It might have been. It's their yearly chart. It was right here. This time, whatever happened right here, this was like earnings came out. There was some guidance of something. I mean, that was like over $100 a share within 48 hours. And you own a put option on Facebook right here, which I actually owned one right here. And then I sold it right before it did that, because I think it would have expired anyway. So I didn't own it for long enough, even though I had the right idea. You could own $100 option right there that became $11,000 the next day. And it's Facebook going down. I mean, I can't think of a better way to make money than watching Zuckerberg lose it. Grab it off of Zuckerberg's orange little head, right? So this can't happen. Now, obviously, they're only at 138, so they only got so much further to go. But you think things are getting better for them? Mm-mm. I think they're like the 8 tracks of social media. I think we've all grown up, and now there are better things where we're in more control and we don't get trash pushed in our feed all the time because they're just a trash shoveler. All right, I'll quit, yapping about Facebook, but it's an interesting thing to diversify your picks in this sense, or diversify your options between calls and puts, because what you're watching is you're watching a wave of value and a wave of money going in and out of the market. And you have to be able to ride that wave both directions if you want to see yourself making money in some fashion every day, right? Because something's either going to go up or down, or it's going to stay flat. Flat, everybody loses in what you're doing. If you buy options and the price of a stock never moves, your option, unless you bought an option in the money, but whatever premium you paid, you lose. So if a stock stays flat and never moves for as long as you own an option, you're going to lose all your money or whatever non-intrinsic value you had invested in that option. So it's all about riding fluctuations and waves. And because there are going to be amplitudes that are measurable for companies, or just stuff's going to do this, then you want to own at the peak and at the trough for certain different companies. So, I mean, we'll talk in the future. I like doing videos about the stock market, especially on a daily basis when it's open. I mean, we're only talking about one simple thing, which is long calls on the best company on the market right now, which is Tesla. I have reviewed them today. I need to look at more notes. Yeah, it'll keep going up. And maybe tomorrow probably is an up day for them because they're so far low relatively to the nearest term. And we'll finish on this. What's going to happen with them tomorrow? Because I've talked about what's going to happen to them each day this week's, basically starting Monday, Tuesday, and now Wednesday. And I said Monday was a terrible day, right? Where they dropped a ton. Like, what's the last 4 days been? that ain't right, because they went down today. They dropped a ton. Yeah, they dropped a ton. And I said, there's no way they can't go up to about 252 the next day. They got up to like 249. I think they closed at, but they were really skirting with it. Then now they're down, right? Now they're down $7-8 today. Okay. But they're way down here comparatively, right? Last 6 months. They're right down, like they just don't have too much more to go to hit a 6 month low, and to hit a year-long 52-week low. You're looking at, I mean, how much? Like, not too much, because they went down a little today. It maybe, like they could maybe go down to high 200s, like 210, maybe, like really, really worst case scenario. If you see them at 210, how could you not buy options of them at 210? But I don't think they go that way, because I mean, there are other things that could affect the market that bring everybody down. If that doesn't happen, then the money that comes back in here, because they just move so much, there's a lot of people waiting on the sidelines, waiting to see where they think this floor actually is. That's why I know at 210 would be berserk if they go down to 210. But they'll probably go up. Probably. I want them to, but is it realistic? Unfortunately, I feel like it, I shouldn't say unfortunately, because unfortunate for my option, the way I'm looking at it now. Like, I did not expect a down day today of 3.5%. That was not what I thought was in the cards for them, but it happens. But tomorrow, the best they can probably do realistically is $10 up. And so it's like, all right, they can get to 250. And then Friday could be a free for all in either direction. You still don't know news. Like, news doesn't filter in through this company properly, because they're doing such futuristic stuff that the world doesn't get it. Like, they brought a robot out. I haven't even watched the robot special for Tesla yet, because I'm like, I'm busy with other stuff, Elon. I'm like, can you, Elon, I worry about your robotics later. I'm like, yeah, I love the idea. No, having robots do stuff that people did, once you refine the process, is more efficient and leads to fewer errors, and leads to robots not needing break time or bathroom breaks, and all these things that I think robots are great for. And robots should be doing jobs that people don't want to do. And I'm sure that's what he's getting at in the long run. I'm just too exhausted to go over whatever he's done already right now. That I'm like, I'll worry about AI day later. And I think a lot of people thought that. They're like, all right, we saw a robot walk. Like, we've seen Boston Dynamics videos of legit robots, like, and robot dogs doing amazing stuff. So, I mean, Elon, you got to beat that, right, to impress us. I get it. So anyway, news filters into this company slower than normal. So, but eventually it will, and eventually money will pop back in. And so I feel like, yeah, the best they could probably do is about $10 tomorrow. But Yeah, I don't think they're going to hit. I wanted to see them at 275 by the end of the week, and I'm not thinking that that's looking good. But but next week will be another week, and we'll just keep doing weeklies because here's the funny thing: they move so fast that as long as you have a long call option on them, at least every week, because the weeklies are what you can buy, you will eventually catch that huge peak when they go up. And when that goes up, it's going to be multiples and multiples and multiples of what your investment was in the option. It's tough to do what you can do with Facebook, where you could buy one for $100 and be worth 10,000 the next day, but you can buy one for $100 that can be worth a few thousand the next day when they go $25 up a share or something crazy, and or do that in successive days or something like that. So that's why it's fun to watch and understand that you're not going to hit it all the time. And I have done multiple videos where I haven't hit certain Tesla options. I don't even think I did a video when I had an amazing day with a Tesla option a year ago or something, where on a Friday they just went berserk up like 20 or $30 a share in the last like 3 hours. And I had a few of them in that situation. So it's fun to watch, and I do it because they're the best company to do it with for every reason imaginable. So anyway, is there anything else to talk about? I need to get through the rest of the companies, and I will do some more work tonight. And I kept trying to get, I'm at 880. I'll get this down to below 750. Oh God. Yeah, I'll keep going through it. Keep going through it and I'll get them done. And then we'll have a nice look that's much cleaner. Because right now, too many companies have not reviewed in forever. Right? Way too many. And ones I haven't reviewed at all. I mean, just ones that I don't think are on the current list. It's still like 300 companies, right? Yeah, 2020, 2021, all the way to about here, 229 companies that I still haven't looked at that need to be looked at because I already have notes and stuff. So I'll get there. But that's the stock market update for Wednesday, October 5th. We'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully Tesla surprises me and has an amazing day tomorrow of like $20 a share to like 260 something. Then all my options would make money. And then we talk about them. But right now they're looking like they need a huge day on Thursday. So that's the big at bat for the Tesla option is really going to be Thursday. All right. So good luck, everyone. May all your trades be winning, and we'll be back to more analysis. All right. Good luck. See ya.